Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
It was clear after her awkward landing in the vault rotation that something was wrong. Now USA Gymnastics says Simone Biles has withdrawn from the team final competition because of a, quote, medical issue. She is still slated to participate in individual events later in the week, but USAG says she'll be assessed daily to determine whether she will compete.
She's our superstar. She's out. She's out. She's out of the team side. Like, she's the greatest gymnast in the history of gymnastics. She could literally be Gymkhana. We don't know. But she's out. Some of you are laughing. You're like, I saw Gymkhana. If you guys have never seen it, imagine ninja stuff and gymnastics all in one. Imagine rescuing a Thai princess from a castle where there just happens to be a pommel horse. Gymkhana. Are those uneven bars? Yeah. You guys are really in trouble now. I'm just going to stand over here. She's out. That's like the big news. That's the biggest news in the Olympics, other than there's a typhoon that potentially could hit the Olympics. This is just getting worse every day. Chad, you shouldn't poke fun at the Olympics. I can't help it. I'm trying to watch some of it, right? Like, I am all about the pageantry. There is none. I'm all about the stuff. There's none of that. What was it yesterday? Yesterday, they were talking about if you have a chance, if you win a medal, there is a chance they will let you take your mask off. But you have to hold your breath for like 30 seconds so they can take your picture.
Give those athletes who have been competing, when everyone else has stepped back, the chance to remove their mask for 30 seconds, staying on their steps for a photo.
Yeah, because your Olympics are going to be what? You're going to have your mask on with your medal? What's that look like? Oh, my Lord. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show, your Twitter. No, it does suck about Simone Biles because, like, she is – I was trying to explain this to Jack. She is so much better at this than most people will ever be at anything they ever do, ever, even the most mundane thing. She is so much better at. She's the greatest of all time. She's Michael Jordan meets Wayne Gretzky, and she's not going to be in the team side of thing, of which we may lose our dominance, which will suck. Really, it's all about beating the Chinese or the pretend Russians who aren't supposed to be there, but they've sent more people and they're winning medals because we punished Russia. All you did was took away their flag. That's all you did. That is it. You didn't do anything else. 323-538-2423 at ChadTheBensonShow.com. Which way are we headed, Dr. Fauci?
We're going in the wrong direction.
How do you know which way we're going?
Look at the inflection of the curve of new cases. It is among the unvaccinated. And since we have 50% of the country not fully vaccinated, that's a problem, particularly when you have a variant like Delta, which has this extraordinary characteristic of being able to spread very efficiently. It's really an outbreak among the unvaccinated, which is the reason why we're out there practically pleading with the unvaccinated people to go out and get vaccinated.
Yeah. Now, will that work? No, it's not going to work. We talked about it yesterday, right? We talked about it. First of all, you're blaming people. People don't like that. They don't want to be vax shamed. I just made that up. So you guys want to use that? Feel free to use. I haven't heard it anywhere. So vax shamed. They don't want that. Secondly, again, it's the pushback thing. I go back to it. You tell people what to do. I have a 3-year-old. You tell her what to do. She's like, nope. Right? Sometimes she will. Sometimes. But by and large, right? When Jack was 3, no. No. That was his favorite word. No. 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 Every child's favorite word is no. 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 Got to make it feel like it's their thing. Right? I came up with this. I want this. You didn't give it to me. You didn't push me into it. I wanted it. And that's what you have to do. Now what you're going to get is, as soon as this thing becomes not a emergency use vaccine, a actual vaccine that is approved by the FDA. And it's not in a situation, again, we talked to Dr. Macri last week. It's not one of those things where the reason it hasn't been approved is because they're still testing it out because of whatever baloney people think it is. It is because of paperwork and red tape that has to do with actual shelf life. How long can it sit on the shelf? How long can it stay in the refrigerator? You get where I'm going. That tends to be the hang up with something like this. But we live in a world where we need to find out whose fault is all of this craziness that we're going in the wrong direction.
Fauci says we're going in the wrong direction. Whose fault is that?
Well, I would say first what he was referring to is the fact that because there is still a large population of people in this country who are unvaccinated, and we have the most transmissible variant that we've seen since the beginning of the pandemic, that more people are getting sick with COVID. Those numbers are not moving in the right direction. I think that's accurate, and you can see it by data.
Yeah. You know whose fault it is? It's the Delta variant's fault. Yes, it's the unvaccinated's fault. But you're looking for it's the conservatives' fault. That's what you're looking for. Just you're trying to start a fight there. Whose fault's this? It's the conservatives. It's white evangelicals. No. People who are unvaccinated. By the way, there's a lot of people of color, who are unvaccinated. Blacks, Latinos, they're unvaccinated as well. For whatever reason. In the Latino population, you know, I've got my producer here in my local show. He is Latino. Pablo! I love Pablo. Pablo and I are like best buds. He's vaccinated. A lot of his family is not. And he'll laugh about some of the stuff they tell him. And we've talked about this on numerous occasions. They think you're going to be impotent. You think you're going to be sterile. You think you're going to get these things are going to. And it's a frustrating. He says it's frustrating because you can't reason with some people like that who are going and they're finding their information in certain places that they absolutely trust, or from people they trust, and they're not moving away from that. Can't fix that. Going to be tough for the African American community, black community. Let's be real. Not a big fan of the government. Not a big fan of the way they've been treated. So there's hesitation there. And on the other side of it, the white evangelicals, the conservatives, this is understandable. Why you're not seeing them get vaccinated. They've felt that they've been, you know, in many cases, they've been indoctrinated by some of this craziness. They're not going to believe anything that anybody says. And by the time many of them do, they're realizing, wow, Phil Valentine, who is a conservative talk show host, who kind of, it wasn't so much an anti-vaxxer, but more like we talked about yesterday, that libertarian pushback, don't make me do it, I'll do it when I want to do it. You know, we haven't really tested these things. He is currently struggling and fighting for his life. And what is he saying? Should have got the vaccine. The mandates for some of these things will be coming. Will be coming. Mostly it's going to be at the level for the federal side of things, which is what you're already seeing.
With the Delta variant fueling outbreaks across the U.S., vaccine mandates are gaining new traction.
Yes, Veteran Affairs is going to, in fact, require that all docs working in facilities are going to have to be vaccinated.
President Biden confirming the Department of Veterans Affairs will now require all medical staff to be vaccinated within the next 8 weeks. It's the first time a federal agency has mandated COVID-19 vaccines and comes after 4 unvaccinated VA employees died from COVID-19, 3 due to the Delta variant.
Yeah. So California has announced state employees and healthcare workers must show proof of vaccine or get tested regularly. VA is requiring all its employees to be vaccinated. New York City brought all municipal workers, including teachers and police officers, under a vaccine requirement that had previously only applied to health workers. San Francisco Bar Alliance, they've jumped on board. 500 San Francisco bars it represents will require indoor customers show proof of vaccine or a negative test. Banner of Chicago's Tribune. Lightfoot warns of mask and restrictions, meaning we got to sort this thing out. We had two of our biggest private employer here in the state of Arizona mandated for all 50,000 of its team workers, as they call it, you're gonna have to get vaccinated, or you're gonna have to find somewhere else to go. That is coming. That is absolutely coming.
Keeping America open in the fall. It's time for Joe Biden. It's time for Democrats. It's time for serious Republicans to start ignoring the ground noise and start focusing on the signal. And the signal is this. If you're a school teacher, if you're a nurse, if you're a cop, you need to get vaccinated. And if you don't, you need to look for another job.
I think that's going to be coming. I'm a free choice kind of guy. Been saying that. Some of these places are going to put this in there. New York, by the way, Department of Education, for all the screaming and yelling about, oh, kids get vaccinated, people get vaccinated, only 60% of the Department of Education. NYPD's 43%, the fire department's 51%, health and hospitals 60%, Department of Corrections 42%, MTA 65%, and citywide it's 58%. That's it. And when I look at the teachers in the Department of Education, why does that matter? It's going to matter to you when your kid goes back to school and they say, we got to go hybrid model. We got to do this. It's going to matter. Kids got to wear a mask all the time. That's going to be a fight. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Again, if you're just tuning in, Simone Biles has dropped out of the team event for the United States of America, making the already sad Olympics just a little sadder. Just a smidge. Rough greens. I could put Doodle in there. I don't think he can do anything, but he can jump now. And why is that important? Because my dog Doodle, while no Simone Biles, because she's the greatest of all time, he's useless, but he's my dog, and I love him. Right? He's amazing. He wants to do flips. He can't. But he can jump now, which he couldn't do. Started giving him rough greens 18 months ago. He can do things that he never could do when we got him when he was, quote unquote, new, which we adopted him when he was much older, which is run a lot. He's not very fast, but I tell you what, vitamins, minerals, vegetables, all these incredible things inside the supplement from Rough Greens has changed him in ways that is amazing. And most important thing is it's kept him alive. And because we were thinking about putting him down because of the pain he seemed to be in all the time. He couldn't even touch his hips. But this has helped with his joint pain, his arthritic hips, and it has given him a new lease on life. It'll do the same thing for your dog. Right now, try Rough Greens before you buy it. The supplement you put on right on top of your dog's food. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. Roughgreens.com/Chad. You go there, you pay nothing but shipping. They're going to give you a bag for free. Or call 833-MY-DOG-77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
Speaker Pelosi will only pick on people onto the committee that will ask the questions she wants asked. That becomes a failed committee and a failed report, a sham that no one can believe.
You know what? Normally I don't always agree with the likes of Kevin McCarthy there, but I do. The picks that Pelosi wants to put out there, this is not bipartisan. So this January 6th committee, as it gets itself rolling, right? Are you interested in finding out, okay, what happened? Or are you interested in scolding the last president and blaming him for the actions of others? Is that what you're interested in? We should want to know exactly what took place. 100%. With an open, unbiased look at all of the information and evidence we had. That should be what this is about. But instead, what you're going to have is you have to have people on there that support Trump. If you have 12 people on there that hate Trump, you're going to get whatever it is that you're looking for if you hate Trump. You can't have 12 people that support Trump because you'd get the same thing. What you need to have is an unbiased look as best as possible at all of this stuff. That's the way you go and do it. That's it. If your goal is simply, hey, we're going to get Liz Cheney to come on, and that's what you got, and Liz Cheney's going to come here, and her and Adam Kinzinger, who cannot stand President Trump, and they spoke out, they voted for impeachment. That way we have two Republicans on this quote-unquote group, this whatever you want to call it, investigative super committee council, and now we'll sort it out from here. It's going to be ridiculous. You can't have that. I'm not saying Liz Cheney shouldn't be there. I got no problems with that. But it should be somewhat balanced if you're looking to actually come up with what really took place that day. Was it an act that was premeditated, pre-planned, or was it more?
I cannot explain why they have, in such a short period of time, gone from understanding that danger to now, in some cases, trying to whitewash it, trying to ignore what happened, and embracing President Trump, who we know a number of the people who were here invading the Capitol said they were here doing it because of him.
Yeah, but Liz, were they doing it there because they also said he sent them signals? Things of that nature. I don't buy that. Sorry. Not buying that one iota. Did not sig them. He sent them signals. I'm looking at you. Yeah, no. Are you interested in the truth? Are you interested in politics? For so many people, it's about politics. And I think that's what you're going to get. You're going to get more politics, and we won't find out the truth. And Republicans, if you're embracing some of this ideology of insanity, you need to stay away. And Democrats, if all that you care about is punishing the last guy, you need to stay away. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Little Delta news, right? Plus, fat shaming. In Times Square. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
What happened, Chad? Well, the Olympics not going the way we thought. Started today with sad news about Simone Biles.
The world was watching Simone Biles as she vaulted to a less-than-perfect landing, taking a long step forward when she came down. Whether it was the pressure going in or a physical injury resulting from her performance, Biles immediately withdrew from the rest of the gymnastics team competition.
Now, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. You guys ready? Giving everybody their opportunity if you want to know. Oh, we're going to watch that. I'm going to watch that with my wife or my husband tonight. Spoiler alert.
Her teammates went on to finish second behind the Russian Olympic Committee team to win the silver medal. The bronze went to Great Britain.
Can I just say, the Russian Olympic Committee is the biggest joke. Russia cheats. They have cheated and continue, I'm sure, to push the envelope in a ton of ways. Remember, they weren't supposed to have anybody. And then people were like, well, no, they should allow them. So now what they have is the entire Russian Olympic Committee is basically the Russia team, but you can't fly the flag. It is the dumbest thing in the world. It is. Your nation institutionally cheats. And then you're like, well, tell them they can't fly their flag. Okay. Yeah, you guys feel bad about that? You've been punished. Feel bad about that? You should. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Obviously, the Delta virus is causing hell and havoc everywhere, and it is becoming a situation where you have the vaxxed and the unvaxxed. But we are going to eventually get around this corner. Enough people will have contracted it. Enough people will have natural immunity. Some people will have both natural immunity and vaccines that this thing will slow down. But like everything, it's ebbs and flows. It's like a wave, right? So somebody could be 50, 100 yards offshore, and you could be 30 yards offshore. They're coming up, and there's a wave, and it goes through, and that wave comes through, and then it heads towards you. You know it's coming, but eventually it's going to get past you. That's going to happen with us.
I think it's probably unlikely. They'll probably just see maybe a slowing of the deceleration that they've been experiencing. But if the UK is turning the corner, it's a pretty good indication that maybe we're further into this than we think, and maybe we're 2 or 3 weeks away from starting to see our own plateau here in the United States.
Which would be fantastic. I think that's what we want. But there's no doubt that this thing's a pain in the ass. People already say, well, maybe we should have mandates again, mask mandates, and maybe we should have this, and maybe we should have that. No, I don't think we can go back to that. Will there be places and states that are going to go through some real tough times? Yes. Remember, and we've talked to several doctors about this, it is about the hospitalizations and the deaths. Don't look at the numbers. And quite frankly, if you've been vaccinated, do you really even need to get tested? Well, if I don't feel good, you go, okay, look, if your work's requiring it's one thing. If you're still working from home, there's probably no need for you to get vaccinated, right? There's probably no need for you to be tested all the time. I'm still amazed. Again, I talk to people. It's like, I got tested last week. I'm like, dude, aren't you vaccinated? Yeah. Why'd you get tested? Well, I mean, your work's not requiring it. Well, it didn't feel good. You know, I had an itchy throat and a bit of a headache. Like, it's allergy season. I mean, you don't have to go get vaccinated all the time. In fact, they're not even reporting some of the breakthroughs, especially if they're mild. We know what we're looking for, and that is people who are unvaccinated, because they're the ones who potentially, and most people survive, but will be the ones who face the longer road at this point in time and a potential worse outcome. And again, potential, meaning 99.5% of people are going to survive it, but still.
Paying a price for the actions of the unvaccinated, because what we know is that the vaccinated are very safe around one another. So the two of you, all of us, if we're vaccinated, we're safe around each other. But if we're vaccinated and we're surrounded by a whole bunch of unvaccinated people, especially in areas with high coronavirus transmission, there's going to be spillover. And that's what we're seeing, that we're seeing vaccinated people also get infections. Now, they tend to not be severe infections, which points to the effectiveness of the vaccine.
Yeah, but still, I mean, if you're vaccinated, live your life. How would you know you're around a bunch of unvaccinated people? Well, you know, they have to wear the hat. There's no hat. There isn't. There's some breakthrough. Chances are, if you get it, you may feel a little, but you're going to be fine, right? Bill Maher talked about the fact that he had breakthrough infection.
You had the vaccine. I got the vaccine. You also got COVID.
After the vaccine.
So what was that like? Did you have symptoms?
I had no symptoms, and there's lots of stuff we don't know about it. So it's odd to me that I was perfectly fine with my immune system for over a year, and then I got the vaccine, and then I got the things. But yes, look, we all want to get back to not wearing masks and not living this crazy Howie Mandel life of being afraid of germs all the time. Germs are natural. So if that takes getting the vaccine, let's all just friggin' do it and get back to normal.
I think most people want that. I think they do. And most people probably took the vaccine, even people that were hesitant but still took it, because they wanted to get back to normal and get rid of the mask. They weren't thinking so much about dying if they caught it. They were thinking about, I just want to get back to normal. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. I saw this story and I started laughing. Times Square, for those of you guys who've never been there, has a lot of billboards. One of them caught the eye of people who are, well, angry all the time at everything and need to make sure they tell the world about it. That billboard said, feeling fat and lazy. Oh, how dare you say feeling fat and lazy.
Well, they are two words that no one wants to be called. Fat and lazy. Now those words are the focus of a 3-story high billboard smack in the middle of Times Square.
The billboard sits at 48th and 7th, and in big, bright colors, it asks, feeling fat and lazy?
I don't like it at all. I'm really big on body positivity.
If you watch, she's big on body positivity. When they went out, they're like, it didn't take us long to find her. She was a nutritional overachiever, right? There's nothing. Look, be positive, be confident. I got zero problems, but be honest with yourself, right? Can you do that? I don't work out as much as I would like to. I would love to work out more. Right now, between a ton of voice work and all of my shows, and the fact that we've had rain, and I hurt my wrist really bad, I can't even golf. And you guys know how much I love golf. I haven't golfed in like 10 days. For me, that is an eternity. So I'm trying to lift a little bit of weights and do some running. I would love to be in the shape I was when I was 21, 22, but I'm honest with myself, right? I'm honest. If I don't do 10,000 steps a day, I feel awful. But most people aren't honest with themselves. They're not. Why didn't you work out today? Well, I don't know. I had other things going on. Just say you don't want to. Right? You don't. Body positivity, that's just a way of saying, oh, it's okay. You know what? I'm a nutritional overachiever, and I'm totally fine with that, and so should you be. I don't care if you're a nutritional overachiever, right? I don't care. But let's be real. We shouldn't champion all of these things. And when Jillian, what's her name? Michaels last year talked about, the singer and said, she's a bigger girl. I forget. What was her name again, Phil? I always forget her name.
I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, see, that's it. Sure, Anthony will text me in a second. But when she came out and said about, we shouldn't be championing stuff like this because it leads to health problems down, high blood pressure. It leads to, heart disease and diabetes and all of these things. Now, you don't need to be her where you work out 12 hours a day unless you're getting paid for it and it's your gig. But at the same time, can we just be honest, right? We see something. Why aren't you're mad about seeing fat and lazy. Why don't you get mad about the fact that, you know what, maybe I should be a little bit more proactive, right? That's what I'm trying to do. I've rejoined a gym just so I can get in some swimming and stuff right now while I try to figure out what the hell's wrong with my wrist.
It didn't take long for us to find Emily Strickland mouthing the words as she walked right by it.
I would use my words more carefully if I'm wanting to put it up on a billboard in front of millions of people.
The billboard is quickly going viral, with critics calling it fat-phobic. Actress Jamila Jamil this week shared a photo on Instagram with the caption, "Why though?"
Well, because. And by the way, Jamil, you, A, beautiful, B, you're working out on a daily basis so you can be She-Hulk, I think is what it's your next thing. And let's be real about this. Why would they? Because sometimes you got to get in people's faces. Sometimes you do. And it worked. And it's pissed people off. And that's a win.
The woman behind it all is online wellness coach Deborah Capaccio.
Did you expect any backlash when you made the billboard?
Of course.
The billboard is promoting her business aimed at helping women lose weight.
I used those words specifically because when I interviewed hundreds and hundreds of women last year and specifically asked them without prompting, what are the names that you privately call yourself? Fat and lazy by far were the most common.
Oh, so you're using their words against them. No, I think she's just being completely honest about that. And if you're honest with yourself, you're like, yeah, there's days I am lazy. I don't want to work out. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I wish, it's like I'd rather sit here and eat, hamburgers and hot dogs and then do some of that stuff. I am honest with myself. Totally. But the people get mad. But it's shaming. It's not shaming. It's being honest. We have you know what the phobia we have in this country? It's not transphobia, homophobia, oh, you're xenophobic. It's not fat phobia. It's honest phobia. That's what we have. Nobody wants to be honest.
It cost her $13,000 to have it up for 4 weeks.
Of course, there are people who have lashed out, but the beautiful thing is I am up for that backlash if it helps even one more woman.
While not everyone is offended, it is creating plenty of dialogue.
Seeing that and seeing lazy and corresponding with fat, it's upsetting.
Do you have any regrets about how you phrased your billboard?
I really don't. I don't believe it's shaming at all.
No, I don't think so either. And by the way, if you want to know, does she put her money where her mouth is? Oh, yeah, she does. She's smoking hot, Phil. Just want you to know that. Get a shout out. Yeah, she's fit. It's great. That's her job. Her job's to be it. Hey, people watch television and these shows on Fox and MSNBC. Their job is to rile you up. You listen to the radio. Some people's jobs is to rile you up. I mean, that's it. She pissed people off. But those people, instead of going, you know what, maybe she's right, I have been lazy and I am feeling fat. Maybe I should get in the gym. Instead, they're like, I'm so angry, I'm going to eat my feelings and lay on the couch. 323-538-2423. This guy from TikTok who saw it.
So just a reminder, fat is not a feeling.
It's not. But it is something. Now, there's also fat, P-H-A-T, pretty hot and tempting. But we're not talking about that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. MyPillow has towels, amazing towels, incredible towels, even for the larger people. Big towels, huge towels. The set, 6 set of towels, right? What you get? 2 big towels. You get 2 of those like hand towels, 2 washcloths. Normally $109. Now for you, $39.99. Money back guarantee, 60 days. 1-year warranty, machine washable, tons of colors to choose from. Plus, the proprietary technology, along with the cotton grown right here in the USA, makes these things super absorbent, non-lotiony. They're incredible. Right now, take advantage of these and all the other super deep discounts at MyPillow.com. Promo code Benson. That's MyPillow.com. Promo code Benson. You will not be disappointed with these or any of the other products. Try the MyPillow, try the Giza Dream Sheets, try the mattress topper, which to me is my favorite thing out of all of those. It's MyPillow.com, promo code Benson, $40 right now, $40 for the amazing towel set that includes 6 towels. Take advantage right now, MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
You go, boy.
This isn't about right or left. This is just about right and wrong.
Right you are, Chad. The Chad Benson Show.
People still love Ted Lasso.
It's all about believing that everything's going to work out in the end.
Apple says last Friday's season 2 premiere of the soccer comedy had the biggest premiere ever for Apple TV+, though the company didn't give actual numbers. And show star Hannah Waddingham tells me she thought people would like season 2, but you never know for sure.
Honestly, I've never been so invested in something ever, of hoping that people who fell in love with it before will still be in love with it. It's crazy.
Episode 2 of Ted Lasso season 2 will be out on Friday.
Yeah. It's odd, right? Because I have everything. I don't have Apple TV, and I'm thinking about getting it just for this. And the reason is simple. It's comedy, and it's a soccer comedy. So if you guys don't know what the show is, now I've seen one of the episodes, and it is amazing. It's essentially a guy think about taking somebody like Nick Saban, the great football coach, right? The great college football coach, and saying Urban Meyer, hey, but mostly Nick Saban because he got a little Southern drawl, and you're going to be hired to coach a soccer team in Europe at the highest level in England. And you go over there and you know nothing about the game. But what you do know how to do is manage people. And that's kind of what it's about. It's not so much about the game and knowing the game. It's managing the people and the personalities and getting the best out of them. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. It is a crocodile. Producer Phil, remind everybody what nature might do to you.
Nature will mess you up.
Mess you up.
The group watched Hummel battling the crocodile, its teeth digging into her right shin and then her left ankle.
I was just kind of hitting him wherever I could.
Hummel's mom, who was back in the U.S., learned about the attack over FaceTime.
I see her, crying and just asking for help. She multiple times asked for an ambulance.
In a statement, Marriott saying, "We can confirm that appropriate signage as well as night patrolling and red flags are properly in place." But Hummel says no one warned her about a possible crocodile attack.
There are 4 different crocodiles, including Salties. There are Morlitz crocodiles, Salties, and a few other crocodiles in Mexico. Cuban, the Orinoco, and even the American crocodile. Dangerous. And by the way, if you're going to go in the water at night and anywhere you think there may be something and you should warn people about this, the one thing they always say is you take a flashlight and you flash it out, even if it's alligators, you flash it out across the water on several occasions, because if there is something out there like a crocodile, alligator, the eyes will basically light up and you will see that. Translation, don't go in the water. I saved you. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
With the Delta variant fueling outbreaks across the U.S., vaccine mandates are gaining new traction.
Yes, Veteran Affairs is going to, in fact, require that all docs working and facilities are going to have to be vaccinated.
President Biden confirming the Department of Veterans Affairs will now require all medical staff to be vaccinated within the next 8 weeks. It's the first time a federal agency has mandated COVID-19 vaccines and comes after 4 unvaccinated VA employees died from COVID-19, 3 due to the Delta variant.
Yeah, it's going to be coming. The Delta variant's here. The good news is, according to Dr. Gottlieb, is we might be way further along in the Delta variant than what some people thought. Remember yesterday we touched on it, October, they said it could get worse, 240,000 a day, 4,000 people dead a day. But it looks like that it kind of peaked already in the UK. And because of that, based on the waves in the past, we might be getting closer to the end than actually just starting to get going.
I think it's probably unlikely. They'll probably just see maybe a slowing of the deceleration that they've been experiencing. But if the UK is turning the corner, it's a pretty good indication that maybe we're further into this than we think, and maybe we're 2 or 3 weeks away from starting to see our own plateau here in the United States.
Yeah, and that is absolutely a possibility. Why it matters is pretty simple. Mask mandates. Raise your hand if you've enjoyed those. Yeah, I didn't think so. Staying home from work. Some of you might, but a lot of you are like, I wasn't working. Well, now you like the fact that you can go back to work. Being able to go outside, live your life, not have to worry about, did I leave the mask in the car, doing those kind of things, getting your kids back in school and starting to see them get educated the way that they were supposed to be educated. Those things matter. But the mandates are here. New York. All municipal workers, including teachers and police officers, are under a vaccine requirement. It only originally applied to healthcare workers. California announced that state employees and healthcare workers must show proof of vaccine or get tested regularly. VA became yesterday, obviously, the first to do it. San Francisco Bar Alliance, with 500 bars it represents, is going to require indoor customers to show proof of a negative test or vaccination before you can come in. And Italy's going to have the green pass. Beginning August 6th to access gyms, museums, cinemas, and indoor dining. France voted yesterday to require a health pass Full vaccination or a recent negative test in a restaurant, trains, planes, measure sparked huge weekend protest. I don't think we should go that far, but I do understand what's going on. People don't want to go back. They don't. And they don't even want the hint of going back. They want none of that. None of it. But alas, here we are. And, they're talking about even the CDC and saying, well, some people who are vaccinated should wear a mask. No. By the way, that is not going to help you getting people vaccinated if you're telling people who are vaccinated, hey, you guys should wear a mask indoor. What does that do? I don't think that helps anybody at all. I think it will frustrate a lot of people, and it will also have other people going, well, if they've got to wear a mask indoors, and so do we, and they have to, they got to do everything we do, then why get a vaccine? Why take the risk? Totally understandable. Totally understandable.
Paying a price for the actions of the unvaccinated, because what we know is that the vaccinated are very safe around one another. So the two of you, all of us, if we're vaccinated, we're safe around each other. But if we're vaccinated and we're surrounded by a whole bunch of unvaccinated people, especially in areas with high coronavirus transmission, there's going to be spillover. And that's what we're seeing, that we're seeing vaccinated people also get infections. Now, they tend to not be severe infections, which points to the effectiveness of the vaccine.
Yeah, so the Centers for Disease Control is now saying, hey, if you're vaccinated, at least some of you should wear a mask indoors. That right there, if I am somebody who's not vaccinated and I'm hesitant about it, and then I see that that's what you should do, is now everybody wears a mask indoors. If you're trying to lure people to it, say, look, guys, just get vaccinated. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about the mask. Just live your life. And even if you do catch it and there's a breakthrough, you're not going to get really sick. And chances are it's going to be asymptomatic. And that's if you get it, right? Dr. Rochelle Walensky, a couple months ago, pointed out two scientific findings at significant factors. Few vaccinated people becoming infected with the virus, and transmission seem rarer still. Vaccines appear to be effective against all known variants of the coronavirus. So, if that's going to be your lure is, hey, get vaccinated and still wear a mask, but you can at least go outside, I don't think people are going to be thrilled by that. And that is not a winning sales pitch to people who are unsure. And quite frankly, it makes you think, well, I thought you guys were totally positive about this. I could see that. Absolutely. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Olympic news. Sad way to start the day.
It was clear after her awkward landing in the vault rotation that something was wrong. Now USA Gymnastics says Simone Biles has withdrawn from the team final competition because of a, quote, medical issue. She is still slated to participate in individual events later in the week, but USAG says she'll be assessed daily to determine whether she will compete.
Yep. Now, in saying that, I am going to, spoiler alert, if you are going to watch the games tonight and you're like, I don't know what happened, because I do not have social media and I do not watch television out of watching the primetime coverage on NBC. If that is you, I am going to give you 5 seconds and I will count it down, 5 down to 1, where you can turn off the radio and give us about 10 seconds and come back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off.
Her teammates went on to finish second behind the Russian Olympic Committee team to win the silver medal. The bronze went to Great Britain.
We did not win the gold. And we also didn't win the gold in women's softball. I was telling Phil, I knew Australia played softball. Japan won the gold. I had no idea, because it's not like I watched women's softball. I thought, I didn't know that was a big game around the world. I knew baseball, obviously, is, basketball is, soccer, hockey, track and field. But some sports, you think, well, that's pretty much predominantly an American thing, but no, obviously not. And we lost today to Japan. We got the silver. Hope track and field and swimming can bring us back up. My goodness me, it is not going the way we thought. And Simone Biles, by the way, is like, I don't think you guys realize how ridiculous she is. I mean, I joke about, the Olympics and stuff, but I can look at an athlete and say, she's the best of all time at her sport. Where you will have very little, you can look back and say, okay, there's no arguing at this point. She's the best at all time at her sport. And injuries happen. You have the debate and the fight all the time about, who's the greatest basketball player. Hockey's a little different. Obviously Wayne Gretzky, the records he set will probably never be broken. But you go and look, and it's very rare can you go, well, that person, she is that. And obviously that didn't help her getting hurt early. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. The other thing happening, kids, it's time. Yes, it's the January 6th committee. On your mark, get set.
I think that Congressman Jordan may well be a material witness. He's somebody who was involved in a number of meetings in the lead up to what happened on January 6th, involved in planning for January 6th, certainly for the objections that day, as he said publicly.
Yeah, Liz Cheney talking about some of the people that aren't on the committee. Jim Jordan potentially is somebody who, now that sounded almost like you were making it feel like he was planning part of the coup or whatever everybody's saying it is. It wasn't an overthrow. I'm going to go back and say this again. It was a small group of people, and they had a bunch of people behind them. And the bunch of people behind them were riled up. A bunch of people behind them were angry and pissed off, and they had no idea wandering in there what was taking place. But were there a group of people that had other designs on that day other than going and throwing a fit and making loud noise? Yeah, I think there were. You need to figure that out. But you've got to do it in such a way that it's not, let's just destroy Trump and blame everything on him, right? He's the second gunman on the grassy knoll. He was part of the 9/11 inside job, right? Enough of that. You have a fair and honest assessment and try to pay as little politics as possible. The problem is politics today is like so many other things. It's reality television. That doesn't move the needle. When the budget committee gets together and talks about balancing the budget, nobody cares. Only when they're fighting over it do people pay attention. But at that point in time, the work's done. This is going to be somewhat of a charade, if you will. Kabuki theater. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Shows your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Rough Greens makes all pet food better. It does. I love it. I give it to my dog on a daily basis. It's a supplement. Goes right on top of his food, and you sprinkle it on top of there. So if your dog's smaller, right, it's like a little 1 teaspoon, and we have 3 dogs. If your dogs are bigger, give them a couple teaspoons. Put it right on top of your dog's food. It's got vitamins, minerals, vegetables, omega-3, 6, 9, digestive enzymes. It really does a lot. What it helps, especially for my dog, Doodle, especially, he's older, arthritic hips, it helps with their joint pain. It helps with their digestive system. Plus, their coat are so much better. I give it to my puppies, and I give it to my older dog, Doodle, and it has changed his life. And it's saved us money, too, because we have to go to the vet all the time to see what we can do about his hips. Try it today before you buy it, right? So they're not even asking you to pay for it. All they want you to do is cover the cost of shipping. That's it. ruffgreens.com/Chad. ruffgreens.com/Chad. Try it free. Cover the cost of shipping, and it's yours. Put them to the test or call 833-MY-DOG-77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
Set Chad straight. Text the show, 323-538-2423. That's 323-538-CHAD. Someone has to do it. Might as well be you. The Chad Benson Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? Well, I can tell you right now what's trending on the old interwebs. First, let's start with Twitter. Simone Biles pulled out of the women's team gymnastics final, apparently with an injury. The U.S. team and their dominance came to an end. They finished second to the Russians, who aren't supposed to be there, but magically are there, just under a different name. What? How is that? Artistic gymnastics. Russian Olympic Committee earns another gold. People are asking the question, why are they there? I thought they were cheating. Weren't they supposed to not be there? U.S. Capitol, the committee gets underway to find out what took place on the 6th. That's going down. More of the amazing and fun trending stuff when it comes to the audit in Arizona still going on. Oh, yeah. Head on over to Google. LeVar Burton last night hosted Jeopardy. From what I am hearing, they are very close to announcing somebody, and it could be in the next week or so. Remember, LeVar Burton spoke with the Associated Press and several other people along the way, saying he would love to host this thing. Garnered 250,000 signatures as a petition. They gave it to him. He said he had one day of rehearsal. The next day he filmed 5 back-to-back episodes. And he's really been pushing for this. So they tried Katie Couric and several other people, including Ken Jennings. And I don't know who will get it. When last I looked, Ken Jennings seemed to be it was between him and the producer, the guy who produces the show, who had to fill in early on in this, that everybody gave rave reviews to. Oh, yeah. Tesla stock up. That is also trending right now, as is Simone Biles and the Google machine. Luka Doncic played in his first game as an Olympian yesterday, the NBA superstar. He just threw in 48 points as Slovenia crushed Argentina. And Madden 22 ratings are out. Because as we know, football is here. And Tom Brady, if you've not seen it, he had like a hype video. That's what they're calling it. And people can't figure out, is it real? Is it not real? Is it fake? So he's got one of those machines that the receivers practice with, which is the wheels are spinning, put the ball in there, and it throws a perfect, strike all the time. So it looks like in the video, he's about 10 yards away, and he throws it into the machine. It gets stuck, and then it shoots it back to him. And then he goes back about 5 yards, does it again, and then he goes back about another 5 yards, and he throws it, and it hits the machine, and the machine falls backwards, and the ball shoots up in the air, and he looks at the camera, and he says, "Let's get it going, baby," or something like that. And people are going, is it real? Is it not real? I'm going to err on it's probably not real. Not saying he can't do that once, but if he tried to do it all day, he could maybe pull some of that off and they could splice it together. I think it'd be really tough. I know in the World Cup in 98 or 2002, Ronaldinho did a Nike commercial where he kept shooting the soccer ball off the post of the goal and it would bounce back to him in the air and he'd do it over and over again. And people to this day go, is that real? Is that not real? Hard to tell. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
What do you make of this mandate?
I think it's where we are right now. I mean, I think we've done everything we could to make this vaccine available. It's free. It's easy to access it. Most pharmacies have it. We did everything we could to educate, to try and decrease misinformation, to provide incentives like win a lottery or get a free beer. And now we're at a point where there's a solid 25 or 30% of the population that's saying they don't want to get vaccinated, that they're okay with allowing this virus to continue to spread, continue to do harm, and worst of all, continue to possibly create variants that are going to be resistant to vaccine-induced immunity.
Dr. Paul there, not Rand Paul, talking about how frustrated he is and a lot of other people. It's understandable. By the way, the CDC, if you're just joining the program, has recommended some vaccinated people start to wear masks indoors. It's the tipping the toe back in the water. Let's recommend some, but not all, because we don't want people to attack us. So we'll start with some, and we'll see what happens from there. This is the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. That's what we're talking about. Let's be real. That's it. And yesterday, the feds, essentially, we're doing this. This is what's going to happen. We're going to mandate it at the VA because we're not going in the direction, numbers-wise. Outcome-wise, I don't think we're doing awful. And that's what really matters. You have to look at the number of hospitalizations, right, and deaths. So yesterday, we had almost 90,000 cases. July 29th, that week, our 7-day average was 12,000. Right now, it's 56,000. We're going up. That's just it. I mean, there's no if and buts about it. We're seeing a spike. But most of the vulnerable are vaccinated. Most of the vulnerable are fine. Most, if not all of the vulnerable, especially the elderly, people with comorbidities, they're good. Outside of that, it is this 25, 30% of people that don't want to get vaccinated, and they're not going to, and that's going to piss and frustrate some people off. There's another group of people that will get vaccinated. They're just hesitant at this moment in time. Telling them, though, that, hey, we're all going to have to wear masks again indoors isn't going to make it seem like it's worth it, I think, for some people.
What do you do when you're at that point? And I think what you do is exactly what President Biden is doing, which is you try and mandate to the degree that you can. Now, I think those mandates ultimately to be effective are going to have to be at the local level and state level. I mean, there's only so much you can do with federal mandates, but that's where we are right now. I think it's just really frustrating.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are frustrated. I think they are, because we're sitting here fighting over vaccinations. We're fighting over things that we thought we didn't have to fight over, and we shouldn't. By the way, hospitalizations, the 7-day average is about 3,500. It's up about 32%. The prior average, and this is just from COVID, was about 2,600. So I'm not really worried. The vaccine works. I'm not worried about whether or not I'm turned into a turtle or a lobster or a fish or whatever. It's to me, it's safe. I mean, it's been around now for a year plus. People that took it a year ago, nothing's happened to them. People in the trial periods, nothing's happened to them. So, and when people point out the same way that like CNN will point out, like this person didn't want to get vaccinated and said it was a joke and he's died now. And because of that, they'll put that out there. It's the same side on the other side where people are like, well, this person over here got the shot and 2 days later he died. It's like, these are very rare. But take away the health side of it, the mental side of us having to potentially go back in some areas again, and government starting to overreach. That's the frustration and that you should feel. And you absolutely should. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Now, you guys might fall off your chair here in a second. The other day, somebody went after Tucker Carlson, right? Went into a fishing store, and somebody, it was a complete setup as far as you could tell, like this guy was, this was his, the minute he had a chance, like, oh, I'm going to get some internet fame off of this. But still, Don Lemon, and you can almost hear him say, I don't know if I can, I can't believe I'm doing this.
I've never thought I would be in this position to maybe somehow have to defend Tucker Carlson, but we'll see where this goes. I have mixed emotions about this one. Tucker Carlson confronted in a Montana fishing shop, called the worst human being known to man. Dan Bailey is the guy's name, posting his confrontation with the TV host to his Instagram and accusing Carlson of killing people.
What? Yeah. So the guy comes up, you haven't seen it. It's a fishing store, and and by the way, the fishing store apparently has kind of his same name. The fishing store is like, this guy isn't related to us. It's like, are you sure? Because now people are going to remember what you're thinking may be funny. There's the other part of the country that will have no sense of humor towards this, or understanding that you are trying to get internet fame. So in saying all of that, it's ridiculous. It is. And if you haven't heard it, this is it.
Don't even get my I don't care, man. Okay, just dude, you are the worst human being known to mankind. I want you to know that what you have done to this state, to the United States, to everything else in this world. I don't care that your daughter's here. What you've done to people's families, what you have done to everybody else in this society. Son, don't call me son. One.
You're the worst person human ever? Really? Hyperbole much? You're the worst human being known to man. Really? Don Lemon came to his defense.
I don't like it when people do that, because I would not want it to happen to me. But I have mixed emotions because Tucker has done this to people before. Tucker said some really nasty and silly things about me, and the next day there were paparazzi in front of my house. So I don't want it to happen to anyone. I don't want it to happen to Tucker. But when you do things like that, I don't know. I'm just saying that's the real deal. That's how I feel about it.
It's an act. It's kabuki theater. We joked about that earlier, but so much of this is like these guys get up there and they put on their mask and they go out there and they play the part, right? They play the part, whatever part that is that they have to play. And in playing the part, it riles people up. And some people buy into it hook, line, and sinker at both sides of the aisle. They really think that person believes all of that stuff. And some people, by the way, they drink their own Kool-Aid. On the other side, there are people that think they don't understand that some of it's a bit of, putting a little mustard on the hot dog, and it isn't all that you think it is, but they buy into that. It's frustrating because I saw it and I thought to myself, it feels like you're setting yourself up. You're more worried about, you want to attack this guy and thinking you're going to get some sort of kudos points for it. It's a bunch of crap. And no, I don't like it when people gaslight other people. I think it's ridiculous. And I don't like the fact that people are going after people, right? And it's happened to Tucker, where they've gone to his house. It's happened to Don Lemon. And yet Tucker gives as good as he gets. But at the same time, should show a modicum of respect. Shouldn't you? We don't anymore. Now, Anna Navarro, she joins Don Lemon. Talk about this, and you would think, who's defending who here? Because she tends to be the one that's more conservative, apparently. And, she does work for the other team, CNN.
Anna, listen, all of us, we're all on TV. We've been approached. We hear good things. We hear bad things from people. We don't even know who they are. It's part of the gig. Don't you think this went a little too far, though?
I actually thought the guy who confronted him was polite, not shouting, was not violent. He expressed his opinion in the same way that Tucker Carlson expresses his opinion on a nightly basis on a much larger platform. Deal with it.
Yeah, but
I want that.
Your First Amendment right doesn't mean invading my personal space. I'm sorry, Anna.
Yeah. And I think there's a point to it that you say, look, I don't agree with you, but that would be one thing, right? Because if you do that and you're going to talk to somebody, say, hey man, I've watched your show. I don't agree with you. I think a lot of the stuff that you're spending is, is crap or whatever. And you move on with life. You're filming and putting it on your Instagram feels like you're looking for something as well. Doesn't it, kind of? Just a smidge. And like everything, at some point in time, we have to learn how to swipe right in life. Oh, I don't like the way that guy, I don't like any of his stuff. Okay. Are you going to go tell him? No. Why? Because why should I? He's here with his family. He's fishing. He's doing whatever. I mean, I wouldn't want that. I just think there's a time and places for stuff, but people feel that they should be able to do stuff and whenever they want. And I just, to me, it's never been my thing. But part of the reason why I'm probably not bigger is because I'm not a flamethrower. I'm not one of those guys. I'll defend the hell out of my positions and I'll bring facts and data, but I'm not going to sit there and, because the whole thing about any of this stuff is it's about not whether or not you're right or wrong. It's, can you essentially have a drop the mic moment, even if it's not true on the other side?
He has a right to be in a space and not be accosted and not be ambushed by anyone. You can yell. Look, people yell all the time at me. So if you want to stand across the street, you want to do it? Fine.
There was one person who made contact there. It was Tucker Carlson with the guy. Dead.
I get it.
And if you're going to dish it, you better be able to take it.
Yeah. But like everything, right? Like yesterday, Barbara Boxer, somebody mugged her and took her cell phone, and she had bruises and stuff, and she told the person, you wouldn't do this to your grandmother. And like, people in your district in California have been screaming that petty crime and crime itself is out of control, and now you're upset because it's happening to you. I bet if somebody attacked Anna Navarro somewhere, even if they filmed it and wandered up to her, started saying things and getting into her face, probably wouldn't like that. Probably not. It's fun if it's somebody else, but if it ends up being you, it sucks. That's where we are, though. Everybody who's got a phone now is a director, is a producer, is a writer, is an actor, is a journalist. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Raycon's best earbuds around, bud. Best earbuds around, bud. They are. They're amazing. No stems. No wires. None of that stuff, kids. It is just amazing. I love my Raycons. Wear them all the time. You get 6 different soft gel tips, because it's pretty awesome to know that not everybody's ear is the same, and they've made it so it'll fit your ear the way it's supposed to, not just here's a plastic piece, stick it in your ear. There's no stems, there's no wires, 6 hours of talk time, seamless Bluetooth pairing, and with the case that you get with it, it is incredible because once that case is charged, it is your charging case. You just put your Raycons in there, and away you go. And in doing that, they'll charge up to 4 times. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. Saves you an extra 15% on the best earbuds around. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. They start under $70. Get yours now. Best earbuds. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
If you like talk radio like Chad Benson likes his meals, you've come to the perfect place for takeout.
You know, it wouldn't be right if we didn't talk a little bit about Florida, but we also want to talk about human beings and having dreams, because people have dreams and you should follow their path wherever they take you.
I want to show people anything you want, do it. Don't listen to anybody. You chasing your dream.
Reza Bellucci is no stranger to the water. He calls this contraption his bubble. But his bubble washed ashore in Flagler County early Saturday morning.
So let me tell you about his bubble. He was going to walk from St. Augustine, Florida to New York City. This bubble, and there's more, looked kind of like a old school steamer. Have you ever, seen those, like when people are gambling on the Mississippi, like the Delta kind of thing, where they've got those paddles and like a cheese grater, like a round cheese grater. And they were attached. And he was going to walk from St. Augustine to New York City. New York City?
Deputies said a concerned citizen reported seeing it in the hammock area. Bellucci says that he was running on water for a good cause.
My goal is raise money not just for homeless people, raise money for Coast Guard, raise money for police department, but raise money for fire department. There is a public service they do for safety, for help other people. Green light.
This isn't Bellucci's first attempt.
No, it's not. So he's got a red light, green light. I don't know what he thinks is going to happen, but he's got a red light, green light. Red light means stop. Green light means go, just in case. No, he wasn't done, though. Again, you follow your dreams. I joke about this, but the cojones on this cat. He wanted to go and take his little hamster wheel, and he was going to walk to New York. Now, he got 30 miles. That is not what the story is about. Remember, this is a story where nobody's naked from Florida, where meth isn't involved, at least at this point, where nobody is eating somebody else's face because of bath salts. Nobody blew up something, right? This is a guy trying to do something, a guy following his dream.
Back in 2014, he had to be rescued from a hydro bubble near St. Augustine. His second attempt was in 2016, where he had to be rescued from a hydropod just off the coast of Jupiter. Gina Lespina has been on Bellucci's bubble journey for years. She says he has a GPS tracking device, so family and friends know where he is at all times.
He's a survivalist. He can survive anywhere for days, weeks. He's got food, he's got water, he's got everything he needs to keep him safe.
Bellucci says he's raised lots of money, but most importantly, he will never give up on his dreams.
I never give up my dream, for never stop. They stopped me 4 or 5 times. I never give up.
That's right. I think it was the great Andy Samberg who said, never stop stopping. Kids, what we're saying is dreams work. If you dream hard enough, you can make things happen. It's funny because I'm sure some people saw it wash up and shore and they thought, oh my God, what is this? And other people thought, oh my God, how much drugs are in this? It's a guy. It's not drugs. It's a guy. Do you have drugs? He does not have drugs. It's just a dude who washed up on shore. Because that's Florida. Because at least once a week you hear of a story is like, 12 kids found 48 kilos of cocaine floating in the ocean valued at $3 million. Other people are like, this is my greatest day ever. Oh, it's a dude. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
It's not been a good day for the U.S. women's gymnastics team. Those of you guys, letting you guys know right now, Simone Biles got injured. They came in second in the team competition. She may participate in the individual competition. We've picked up more medals, currently sitting number 1. We have 25 medals, but Japan has 10 golds. The pretend country of rock has 7. China has 9. Let's be real. You want to beat China. Got to beat China, man. Got to beat China. Yesterday, we were talking about that, and somebody commented, well, you don't like the Chinese. I never said anything about the Chinese. I don't like China, the communist nation led by the communists. The people, I don't have any beef with them. I don't like the ideology. Do you? Do you enjoy the ideology? Is it something that you think, oh, yeah, I really like this? These people seem like they've got it going on. Love not having freedoms. Love not having freedoms. I love being able to be told nothing and everything at the same time. We tell you nothing, but here's everything that we're going to tell you. Do what we say and go from there. So, yes, I don't like the communist government. But you can't say stuff like that. Like yesterday, we were talking about vaccines. And in this day and age, it is people say you got to walk a fine line. It's not you have to walk a fine line. Because no matter how fine of the line that you walk, somebody will take a piece of something you say. They will misinterpret it and run with it. They will. Vaccinations is one of the things that is something that we talk about here. We are struggling with vaccination rates to where we want to be, and we're seeing a rise in the Delta variant.
Paying a price for the actions of the unvaccinated, because what we know is that the vaccinated are very safe around one another. So the two of you, all of us, if we're vaccinated, we're safe around each other. But if we're vaccinated and we're surrounded by a whole bunch of unvaccinated people, especially in areas with high coronavirus transmission, there's going to be spillover. And that's what we're seeing, that we're seeing vaccinated people also get infections. Now, they tend to not be severe infections, which points to the effectiveness of the vaccine.
Yeah. And I said, and the other thing is, I don't want to wear a mask. Do you want to wear a mask? I mean, that's what the CDC is now starting to recommend, that some people who are vaccinated start to wear a mask indoors again. No. No, thanks. I don't want to. I think, you know what, if you've gone and got, first of all, that is not a good selling point. Hey, get vaccinated, but continue to do everything you were doing before. Well, Chad, the selling point is you get to live if you get this. 99.9%, 99.7%, depending on what age group you are, 98%. I mean, even people that are older with comorbidities, more were surviving than were dying. If we're honest with ourselves, which is tough to be. I get it. It was like, oh, God, Chad, we can't be honest with ourselves because, But I said something. I said, the reality is people who are vaccinated are less likely to transmit it. Not saying you can't. And somebody's like, you're ignorant. You said that. No, it's not what I said. It's what you heard. And that's the sad thing in this day and age. It's about what you hear and how you take it. Even if you hear it right, you take it in a different way, it doesn't matter. We're in a situation where we're seeing it rise. The Delta virus is causing a spike, and the spike right now is a pain in everybody's butt. I think we all realize that because we're worried about, are we going to have to go back indoors? Are we going to be in a situation where they're going to start mandating stuff? They are mandating some things, including certain parts of the federal government.
With the Delta variant fueling outbreaks across the U.S., vaccine mandates are gaining new traction.
Yes, Veteran Affairs is going to, in fact, require that all docs working in facilities are going to have to be vaccinated.
President Biden confirming the Department of Veterans Affairs will now require all medical staff to be vaccinated within the next 8 weeks. It's the first time a federal agency has mandated COVID-19 vaccines and comes after 4 unvaccinated VA employees died from COVID-19, 3 due to the Delta variant.
Yeah, we don't want that, especially working around people that are sick. I don't think we want any of that. But this is where the freedom comes in. This is where that battle is. I am a guy about who say, Chad, you say that you're a follower of God and that you're a Christian, whatever you want to call me, and yet you believe in science. I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't you believe in science? Like, science is real. They can't coexist. No, they can't. And the science says that this thing works. But you make your choices. The thing is, though, like I've said, my freedoms end where your freedoms begin, meaning if my freedoms crush your freedoms, that's not a good thing, and vice versa. And getting a vaccine was a choice. I made it for myself, got no problems with it. I also had the thing, right? Zero problems with it. But the data is pretty clear. Not just about whether or not it's effective, whether or not it's safe. But there's a group of people out there that will not get it. And begging them, asking with them, pleading with them, trying everything you can, it is not going to work with a certain group of people. The question we need to be asking ourselves now is, how do we go about living with this thing, through this thing, around this thing, and most importantly, above this thing, and start treating it like, hey, this is something that's just here. We're going to have to learn to live with it. Those of you who want the vaccine, who want the boosters, when if they become available, or if you're going to need them, you know where they are. Outside of that, it's time to live our lives. But if we're going to be held hostage by overreaching bureaucrats and a group of people that are like, hey, you know, we're not going to get this because you could turn into a plant, or it's not safe, or whatever, if that's what we're going to do, this is going to be hell for all of us for the foreseeable future.
What do you make of this mandate?
I think it's where we are right now. I mean, I think we've done everything we could to make this vaccine available. It's free. It's easy to access it. Most pharmacies have it. We did everything we could to educate, to try and decrease misinformation, to provide incentives like win a lottery or get a free beer. And now we're at a point where there's a solid 25 or 30% of the population that's saying they don't want to get vaccinated, that they're okay with allowing this virus to continue to spread, continue to do harm, and worst of all, continue to possibly create variants that are going to be resistant to vaccine-induced immunity.
Dr. Paul there. One of the things we didn't do is we didn't ask ourselves, hey, there's going to be, this thing's going to become political. How do we reach people without seeming like we're strong-arming them to make up their own minds without talking down to them? And then also realizing that while all that's happening, there may be a certain group of people that will never take this, and that we have to be okay with that. And government is not, because government believes its entire being is to protect everything, everyone at all time. And that's not your job. It's not. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. The January 6th committee is open for business. Rep. Liz Cheney, Republican, Wyoming.
When a threat to our constitutional order arises, as it has here, we are obligated to rise above politics. This investigation must be nonpartisan.
You don't like the president. You voted to impeach him. You're a Republican. Kinzinger's there, too.
The point that Liz Cheney made was a relevant one for us to think about, that many Republicans in the aftermath of January 6th were saying that President Trump bore responsibility. Kevin McCarthy was among those who felt that way. They are the ones that have changed their tunes. The consistency has been on the Kinzinger and Cheney side.
Yeah, that is very true. In saying that, you have to have an unbiased committee. If the committee is to go out and to destroy Trump and base it all on that he somehow, through his surrogates and cohorts and ne'er-do-wells and hanger-ons, managed to put together a ragtag bunch of people and send them special signals that allowed them to go to QAnon and use their, little Orphan Annie decoder ring to come up with something where they all showed up, and then got a bunch of other people to go in and storm the castle with code words, I think it's a reach. But you can ask serious questions about a few of Republicans who did have some dealings with some of these people, looking at Paul Gosar in particular out here in Arizona, and who were some of these groups that came there and were a part of this. And there was mostly, I don't know how many people were there, but it was a small group of people that did a lot of damage, and it was embarrassing, and it should piss you off. But as we all too often do, we get caught up in the politics and the reality TV show of politics and not let's find out what really happened and do it in a way where we're starting with a blank slate. I don't know. Treat me as if I don't know anything that happened, if I've seen none of these pictures. And let's go from there. But we're incapable of doing that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Raycon, best earbuds around. I wear my Raycons all the time. What? I do. When I'm doing voiceovers, I'm doing a lot of voiceovers right now. And one of the things I like to do is I edit on, I've got several computers I edit on. And the reason I like to wear my Raycons, because I've got my big headphones and stuff. And even when I'm doing voiceovers, I'll usually leave a Raycon in. The reason that I love these, though, is because the control I have with the sound, right? There's no stems, there's no wires. They're so comfortable. But the control I have with the sound quality is so amazing that it allows me to do the things I need to do to get the right kind of edit and to hear the things that I would hear that the average ear isn't going to hear after it goes through processing and music and effects on the radio, for television, whatever it is. But I do. And I have a very discerning ear. The average person, you guys out there, you're just going to know they fit well and they sound amazing. If you want the best earbud around for a price that's not going to break the bank, they start under $70 with a 45-day happiness guarantee, several colors to choose from, and a charging case that is amazing. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad, buyraycon.com/Chad. Save an extra 15% right there. Buyraycon.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
Check out our Chad Benson Show Facebook page where you can hang out or hang your grievances out to dry. This is Chad Benson.
Simone Biles did come down off balance during the vault portion of the team event, but after pulling herself out, she said it was the pressure of competition and the lack of a supportive crowd in the stands that made her step back. She says competing in the individual events later this week will be a day-by-day decision.
So she's not saying it's an injury. Originally it was an injury, not an injury. And some of that may be, it's like sports. Like if you ever watch sports and they're like, especially hockey. Hockey's the king of pretend injuries. Jim, you took a shot to your leg and then it fell off. What do you have to say about that? I have a cold. It's like, but if you're telling me that the pressure is too much, that's crazy. I mean, you're the best of all time. Here's why audience matters, though. Pro golfers have said it over the last several months. Having the crowds back is amazing. Some of the best in the world struggled not having crowds there. Part of the game is what you feed off in the crowd, but there's also a sense of, if people are against you, if they're for you, a sense of distraction. So you can hyper-focus in the moment. Sometimes when it's so quiet, it's eerie. And other people that I've talked to who have played in some of these, behind, as they say, basically it's behind closed doors, games, say it doesn't feel real to me, man. It feels like a practice game. It feels like it's not real. You score a goal, you don't celebrate. You just kind of look around and there's it feels, and so the effort in some ways isn't there, and it's tough. So I could see a bit of that. But man, saying that, it's just I pulled out because I just didn't feel like there was no crowd and there was no supportive cast, and that's that feels tough. Here's something else, right? I'm going to say this, and that's nothing against Simone Biles. I'm going to say this right now. She's the greatest of all time. Period. Case closed. End of story. The greatest gymnast in the world, and that ever has been. And I think she recognized that. But if this is a guy that says, I don't want to play anymore because I'm just struggling mentally, or People give a lot of guys like, you really, what? You don't want to, they'll call you a quitter. They'll say you don't have it. They say, you can't take the big shot, that you shrunk in the moment. It's interesting. It is. They came in second, by the way. I hope I didn't ruin your evening. Have you seen the ratings? Ratings are pretty bad. And this goes back to what we were just talking about. There are no fans in the stands. Without fans being in the stands, it doesn't feel like it's a real event. It just doesn't. It feels like somebody's practicing at something, just with better outfits than they normally would practice with. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Speaking of the Olympics, somebody on Newsmax said something, and quite frankly, I think he's a douche canoe. We'll talk about that and fat shaming in New York City. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
President Biden and senior officials have said the administration is following the science when it comes to mask guidance for vaccinated Americans. The president said last week that public health officials were looking at everything that's happening across the country as concerns grow about the spread of the Delta variant of COVID-19. Press Secretary Jen Psaki last week said there were conversations taking place in the administration about updating mask guidance, but said no decision had been made.
We are guided by the science, and we're guided by our public health experts, and any decision would come from the CDC.
Yeah, CDC is now recommending that some people who are vaccinated wear masks indoors. Who are the some people? I think that's the question we want to know. Like, am I one of those some? I don't feel like I should be one of those some. Certain areas? How's that work, right? So they're expected to recommend everyone K through 12 wear a mask, regardless of their vaccination status. They're also urging vaccinated people in certain areas of the country to resume wearing a mask. So Orlando, very high risk right now. Missouri, you're seeing massive jumps. Essentially, if 8 out of 10 people in your community are not vaccinated, they're recommending, no matter where you are, if you're interacting with people, to wear a mask. So for the rest of us, I think it's going to be, who knows? Who knows what? But it's not a good look. And it's not a good look. And I think if you think that you've had a battle with the mask over the last several months and years, if you think you've had that, wait till you tell everybody who's been vaccinated. People have been like, yeah, I'm totally on board with getting vaccinated, and I think it's a smart thing to do. Oh, by the way, you have to wear a mask now indoors. I think people are going to struggle with that, and you're going to find you're going to find that the debate that's coming and the pushback isn't from just the people who already don't want to wear a mask and won't get vaccinated. It's going to come from even people who did wear a mask and did get vaccinated. So that's what the CDC is recommending now. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Some of the other stuff we're doing, which is, of course, watching the hearing is underway for January 6th. The officers are up there doing their thing today, along with several others. This is Officer Hodge talking about what he saw while he was at the door during what he calls strictly as an attack.
Directly in front of me, a man seized the opportunity of my vulnerability, grabbed the front of my gas mask, and used it to beat my head against the door. He switched to pulling it off my head, the straps stretching against my skull and straining my neck. He never uttered any words I recognized, but opted instead for guttural screams. I remember him foaming at the mouth.
Yeah. Continue to talk about what they were saying to him.
A woman called us stormtroopers. Another woman, who was part of the mob of terrorists laying siege to the capital of the United States, shouted traitors. More found appeal in this label and shouted traitors at us as we passed.
It's tough to hear. And this is what's going on. You've got the Republicans and Democrats. Is it going to be a biased one? Yes. This is about, did Trump cause this? That's kind of what this is about. I don't think they're really searching to find out, was it one group or another? Was Trump part of it? But these officers, this is their experience. Officer Michael Fanone.
What makes the struggle harder and more painful is to know so many of my fellow citizens, including so many of the people I put my life at risk to defend, are downplaying or outright denying what happened.
Yeah. And by the way, if you want to know what happened to him, this was his day there.
At the hospital, doctors told me that I had suffered a heart attack, and I was later diagnosed with a concussion, a traumatic brain injury, and post-traumatic stress disorder.
And some people out there are absolutely saying, well, it's no big deal. Nothing happened, right? It's no big deal. This wasn't anything. This was, and then they want to compare it to what took place around the country, which, oh, yeah, but look what happened in Minneapolis or Portland or Chicago or where, again, this is, focus on this. Those things were bad too, and I've talked about how bad they were. But this needs to be addressed. The problem is politics will get right in the way of finding out the truth because everybody wants to lay blame to somebody, not because it's the truth or it's not the truth, but because it'll help them politically, because that matters more than getting to the bottom of what took place that day. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet and text the program. Imagine this. You're walking down the street. You're there, Times Square. You look up and you see something. You see a billboard and you're taken back by oh my God. What does that say?
Well, they are two words that no one wants to be called. Fat and lazy. Now those words are the focus of a 3-story high billboard smack in the middle of Times Square.
The billboard sits at 48th and 7th, and in big, bright colors, it asks, feeling fat and lazy?
I don't like it at all. I'm really big on body positivity.
She's really big on body positivity. What say you? Bill? Is your name Bill?
Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
Yeah, she was a big girl, sir.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait. So, feeling fat and lazy. People were upset about this. People were angry about this. Some people took to TikTok.
Can you f***ing believe this billboard?
Yes, I can.
What is this? I want a petition to have it taken down. I just really can't believe there's a billboard like that up in Times Square. First of all, the billboard looks cheap and bad. Secondly, it is so offensive to fat people, and I just can't believe anyone is using that kind of marketing to attract clients. It's crazy.
Is it? He's straight out of Central Casting, by the way. He's straight out of Central Casting. What is that supposed to mean, Chad? Come on. It's ridiculous. Who's it offensive to? People who are nutritional overachievers? People of size. POS. People of size. You know who you are.
It didn't take long for us to find Emily Strickland mouthing the words at...
By the way, I don't think that was very nice to say that about Emily, Because when you see the video, you're like, oh.
It didn't take long for us to find Emily Strickland mouthing the words as she walked right by it.
I would use my words more carefully if I'm wanting to put it up on a billboard in front of millions of people.
The billboard is quickly going viral, with critics calling it fat-phobic. Actress Jamila Jamil this week shared a photo on Instagram with the caption, "Why though?"
Did she use a bad word? She did use a bad word. By the way, if you've seen her, she's absolutely stunning. I believe she's playing She-Hulk. Because we're like, oh, if only we had She-Hulk here. That would be awesome. Yeah, this lady, Deborah Capaccio, she put the billboard up. And damn it, it's getting attention. It worked, didn't it?
The woman behind it all is online wellness coach Deborah Capaccio. Did you expect any backlash when you made the billboard?
Of course.
The billboard is promoting her business aimed at helping women lose weight.
I used those words specifically because when I interviewed hundreds and hundreds of women last year and specifically asked them without prompting, what are the names that you privately call yourself? Fat and lazy by far were the most common.
So you decided to put that up there. Why? Because you're trying to evoke an emotion out of somebody. For some people, a lot of them, it's anger. But now what do you do with that? You're angry about something, right? Are you going to put it to good use or you're not? Look, I'm honest enough with myself. I'm like 25, 30 pounds overweight to where I want to be. Am I fat? No, but I'm definitely not where I want to be. If most people are honest with themselves, which we weren't. But it's fat phobia. It's shaming. No, it's not. It's marketing. You're taking it as who's afraid of fat people? I mean, honestly. Like, who's afraid? Like, are you afraid of fat people? No. It's like when people say you're a transphobe. Are you afraid of trans people? No. Xenophobe? Are you afraid of? No. Are you afraid of? Are you homophobe? Are you? The phobe thing gets thrown around. No, I'm not. I don't have a phobia of any of those things. What we have a phobia of is truth. This was a marketing ploy. Kind of worked.
It cost her $13,000 to have it up for 4 weeks.
Of course, there are people who have lashed out, but the beautiful thing is I am up for that backlash if it helps even one more woman.
While not everyone is offended, it is creating plenty of dialogue.
Seeing that and seeing like lazy and like corresponding with fat, it's like upsetting.
Do you have any regrets about how you phrased your billboard?
I really don't. I don't believe it's shaming at all.
No. I mean, do you feel ashamed about it? If you're fat? No. I mean, it's Jillian Michaels, and we were trying to figure earlier, it was Lizzo, right? Like, she came out and said, this whole body positivity thing is promoting things like unhealthy lifestyles. And not to she just mentioned Lizzo because Lizzo's on the cover of something. And it was one of those things where people went after and attacked her. How dare you do that? No, she's just telling the truth, right? Heart disease. Oh, yeah. That's something. Diabetes. Oh, yeah, and then there's something else there, too. And you can start going down and just naming all of the things that potentially could happen. It's ridiculous. I don't think it's a bad thing. And now you could say to yourself, now, should I be honest? Yeah, maybe I am a little too lazy. Like for me, right now, I'm burning candles at like one end, another end, and I'm not working out like I want to, and it's frustrating me. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? I've got to, change some things here in the next couple months because I'm going to be extremely busy. So I make that choice. But I'm honest with myself. And people, that's the big thing. This is about honesty phobia more than it is anything else.
So just a reminder, fat is not a feeling.
No, it's real. Okay. It's real. That's what we're dealing with. So when you're at a point where you're like, oh, God, I feel gross. I need to work out. I feel fat. I feel lazy. When you get there. It's just, can you push yourself past that and go, all right, maybe it's time to make some choices. maybe I won't have the fries. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. MyPillow has towels, even for bigger people. Oh, Chad. I love the towels. They're amazing. Cotton is awesome. Grown right here in the U.S. of A. Top of that, these towels are incredible because they have technology, right? So this is their technology, proprietary technology that they put together to make these towels super absorbent and less lotiony. You're not going to have that where the towels, they don't absorb anything. It totally absorbs. You get 6 towels in the set. So you get 2 big towels, the hand towels, and then the smaller washcloths, all for $40. Normally $109. You're getting these for $40. $39.99. 6-day money-back guarantee. Tons of colors to choose from. Get your MyPillow towels right now and save big on all the other great MyPillow options they have, from the Giza Dream Sheets to the My Slippers and the mattress topper, and of course the MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
Podcasts are American as hot dogs, apple pie, football, and sushi.
Oh, my goodness. No.
Okay, maybe not sushi. Next time you have a craving for something sweet and tangy, download a Chad Benson Show podcast.
Boy, that is good. It's different because you get a little bit of saltiness. It's so good because it's sweet and salty at the same time.
Get a taste on iTunes, iHeart, or Spotify and binge to your ears' content.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to The Chad Benson Show.
You know, kids, we do a lot of things here. Mostly we have fun. We try to inform. Little infotainment, we call it. But producer Phil, remind everybody again about nature.
Nature will mess you up.
Mess you up.
18-year-old Kiana Hummel is in a Marin County hospital after she was attacked by a 12-foot crocodile while on vacation at the Marriott Resort in Puerto Vallarta.
I look down and I feel like I'm getting pulled.
Hummel, from her hospital bed, she says a croc emerged from the ocean, grabbed her right leg, and pulled her in. Marriott confirming the attack, but says there are signs warning of crocodiles and night patrols looking for them.
I was just kind of hitting them wherever I could.
She got dragged underwater. Bystanders ran to help, and she got free, but now she has a long road to recovery.
By the way, a month ago, there was another crocodile attack in Mexico. And crocs are one of the few animals. So we've gone over this, but let's go over this again. Animals that kill. Well, deer kills people, not on purpose. Shark kills people, not on purpose. Take a bite of you. They don't have thumbs. Your leg falls off. You bleed to death. It's awful, but nature, again, mess you up. They're not hunting you. Certain animals will hunt you. Crocodiles will hunt you. Alligators will eat you. It's not a big deal. They're like, we're hungry, we're eating. Like that's what will happen. Polar bears, they will hunt you, especially polar bears. They've got zero problems. They're not like, I am a picky eater. I'm like, I can't eat that. I cannot eat that. So if you're going to go in the water, let me give you some nature will mess you up fixes. Let's say you're in a place, Mexico, right? Australia, going there. G'day, mate, going to Australia then. And you're going into a billabong. You take your flashlight. Because even though there will be signs in some places posted to crocodiles, you say to yourself, you know what, we're still going to go in because all we have to do is scan the thing. You take your flashlight, at night especially, and you go across the water, right? So you're just, and what you're looking for is something shining back at you, usually eyes. Then you say to yourself, if you see that, I, being of sound mind, am not going in the water. And I'm moving away from this portion of the water because there is something in there that may eat you. Again, kids, we are giving you little hints that may save your life if you're ever in a billabong. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Big news, though. Mask may be on again, even for vaccinated people, especially in certain parts of the country where it is really getting nasty. That's what the CDC is recommending, so who knows what will happen from there. And Simone Biles said she just wasn't up for it mentally. Dropped out of the Team Olympics competition for the gymnast team. They came in second, and she may not participate. So we'll see what happens from there. You guys have a good day. We'll do it again tomorrow. Get some tacos. Night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.